Hi, this is Paul Ashford, and this is my Evidence of Learning 1 self-assessment of past, present and future teaching. The first thing I looked at getting ready for this assignment is just having a look at what different pieces of research were out there and what people were saying about technology in education. So researchers have pointed to the well-crafted use of technology and the benefits around that, such as increased learner effectiveness or performance gains, increased learner efficiency, greater learner engagement or satisfaction, more positive student attitudes to learning. And that was from Shachter and Fagnano. Although I agree with that, I think there's lots of things around that in terms of learner buy-in, college support. Higgins, Saya and Katsipataki explore how the focus has shifted from whether or not to use them in teaching and learning to understand which technologies can be used and where. And I think that's very true. It's not about just using technology for the sake of it, it's where it fits in. I found an interesting piece from Matt Birtland, who writes for The Guardian. I actually follow his blog now. He's quite an interesting guy. He talks about the future technology that no one really knows where it's going, and that actually the future technology is about access and anywhere learning, and that being used in a collaborative way. He talks about the cloud and the need for a decent internet connection, teacher and learner buy-in, which I like. It kind of focuses quite a bit on making learners more independent in their learning. In terms of PE, there's quite a bit of research out there about PE. Kirk kind of talks about that. Historically, PE teachers have been quite anti-use of technology in terms of it bringing it away from the dominant pedagogy and that it's not fit for purpose, which I find quite strange considering the amount of technology in sport now and the fact that we're meant to be getting our learners ready to be effective in that workplace. Casey also says PE teachers use the use of technology or innovation as detracting from the core purpose of the subject, which again supports that. Through doing my bit of research, I found quite an interesting bit from Richard Riley. He says we don't really know. We're preparing students for jobs that don't exist, technologies that haven't been invented in order to problem solve, and these are problems we don't even know about yet. It's quite interesting. It kind of details however much we feel we're up to date and on the ball, there's always going to be something out there ahead of the game. So in terms of what I used to do, when I first started teaching, we used to use this overhead projector. It's quite strange seeing visualizers come into the classrooms again now in terms of modelling excellent work or different resources. I've seen quite a few members of staff with them. Also this piece of technology called Quizdom, which is a really neat piece of technology at the time, but it just took so long to put together a simple quiz. We've kind of moved on from that in terms of things like Kahoot, and I still do, but I use technology to put together engaging PowerPoints with embedded videos, which, they look professional, they're bright, they're colourful. In the past, and I still do, I use the college intranet site. I think in the past it was very much, I used it for uploading assignments and resources that students could use. And in the past, and I still do, use analysis tools for learners. And I think for a lot of PE teachers, that is where they see technology fitting into sport, but I would disagree that it should come into a lot of different elements of pedagogy and teaching. At the moment, I've evolved my use of Moodle. I've started using things like Padlets, where students can share their ideas with the rest of their classmates. This was one from a gap year tutorial, where they kind of shared their ideas of what they would do if they were going on a gap year. I also now use Moodle for marking, so learners can upload their work again remotely from anywhere, a bit like Bertland said, that remote access to learning. work isn't lost anymore, it isn't needed to be put in a letterbox, and again, they've got that remote access to feedback and detailed feedback. So that's something I'm currently doing. I also now use QR codes. I use forms a lot, and I think the course has also given me the confidence to explore a few more apps. So Satora is one that I'm using at the moment in terms of a timeline for a history of sport assignment for current issues. Also, I'm currently using Notebook. I do this in my other role as a peer practitioner in a quality role. And I use this to log when I've done different observations and really any notes when I've met up with staff and what we've talked about and what they need to work on. Again, they've got access to that, I've got access to it, and my line manager from the quality department has as well. Moving forward, I think I'd like to move my teaching towards Teams and Notebook. At the moment, I think the resources the college have kind of limit me on that. I think I'm kind of waiting for some guidance from the technology team to see where we're moving with that. And I think that fits in with our feedback from our full inspection report in 2014 in terms of we need to have more confidence and for myself to be a bit more adventurous. Again, that came through when I went to a BET exhibition, which was quite useful. It was quite amazing, but I think that was good for budget holders to go and see where we're going with the likes of OneNote and Teams and what we can afford to do. Again, a piece of research that kind of sums up my findings from this this assignment, and that is Tricano. He's argued that positive impacts occur when information communication technology is used appropriately to complement the teacher's existing pedagogical philosophies. And I think that's true. I think technology is not there to take over. It can be embedded and used to support and make learners more independent, and that remote style of learning using the cloud and my references. Thank you.